Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chase Geiser Network. You are listening to Guess Who's Bak with your esteemed host, Steven Bak, and his co-conspirator, Chase Brendan Geiser, October 26, 1990, sharing a birthday with Hillary Clinton. And I'm pleased to announce, ladies and gentlemen, that the United States might actually provide for you a war that we can win. After all, the United States of America does only seem to win world wars. So we've had this massive news, and we're going to get into more of the details. Bak has prepared some clips. I heard about it from Bak for the first time today, actually just moments ago, during the members-only stream, an hour before this show began on ChaseGeiser.com. You can sign up for free or pay if you want to support the network and watch for an hour before every show. But he told me that the NSA has announced through contracts, is that right, Bak?
Correct.
Through contracts, massive conscription simulations nationwide here in the United States. Hiring contractors, they want to run simulations to see how the populace will respond to conscription. This all comes in the context, of course, of the conflict that we're having in Iran and the conflict that we're having in Ukraine and the conflict that we're having between Taiwan and China and the conflicts that we're having with Cuba and the conflicts that we're having with Venezuela and the conflicts that we're having with every country seemingly all over the entire globe constantly because we've become the new Roman Empire. But not just in the context of the military conflicts that we're in, because we're always in military conflicts. So what does that context even really matter? But do you remember, we showed this either last week or the week before, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth came out and said that all military personnel are going to be tested for their testosterone levels and treated accordingly. This comes stacked on the context of the fact that the United States of America has increased the eligible age of conscription to 42 years old. And so what they've decided to do is enlist or conscript older men for this conflict, which seems to be obviously looming, and then just juice them up with testosterone to make them operate as if they're younger soldiers. That's pretty much the ticket that I gather from it. We've got that all in the context of Lindsey Graham's just wonderful, beautiful funeral. Donald Trump said a couple of funny things. I don't know if we have the clip or not. It doesn't matter if we don't. He said he loved war, which was absolutely true. But they put him in the rotunda today, right? Which is supposed to be an incredible honor. Did we come to the conclusion of who the last person to have a funeral in the rotunda was?
I thought it was Charlie Kirk, but they passed legislation. Well, they tried to, and they
buried him like right away.
Yeah.
They denied it.
I remember Reagan was in the rotunda, which most presidents, when they do get when they pass, I do believe they are.
They get that ticket. Yep. Yeah. So they put Lindsey Graham of all people in the rotunda. It's just, you can't make this stuff up. We're going to talk about what Alex Jones had to say about the pending military draft, these simulations, the latest developments in the Ukrainian conflict, Russia planning to recruit another 30,000 North Korean troops. Bak is probably not going to be with us much longer. Trump hosts Netanyahu and Zelensky. That was the big news of today. The UAE is basically being forced into the Abraham Accords in the form of its own Section 219. So, you know how the United States of America, its leaders at least, are so eager to merge U.S. intelligence with Israeli intelligence and make us codependent with the greatest ally any country has ever had, the only democracy in the region, in the name of our Judeo-Christian values. This is the rhetoric that we see around our just total compromise and submission to Israel. Now we're trying to force the UAE to do the same thing in exchange for enrichment rights for uranium. So we've got the UAE trying to enrich uranium. We've got massive nuclear proliferation taking place. We've got a war that seems to never end, that we've won countless dozens of times. We've got conscription until you're 42 years old. We've got testosterone tests to super enhance our older soldiers to perform like younger soldiers. And in addition to all that, we've got the NSA coming out and announcing nationwide conscription simulations. It's so funny to me that they would do these simulations, that they would contract big tech, AI, whatever, to do these simulations. When we know exactly how Americans feel about conscription, all you have to do is look at what happened during Vietnam. I believe there were 68,000 casualties during that conflict. Relatively small number compared to the 250,000 casualties that were in World War II from the United States of America. Just about 25% as bloody of a conflict for Americans, but the outrage was all but universal. And I can't imagine that the NSA, the CIA, the Department of Defense, the Secretary of War, any member of this administration, I can't imagine that they could possibly or would possibly think that a conflict with a military draft in the Middle East would be accepted. After all, if it's an abundantly popular cause, why is it that you have to draft people against their will to participate in this conflict? So we're going to be getting into all those details, but these are dark times. And I know people have been holding signs on street corners for thousands of years saying the end is nigh. But every time they held those signs, they were right. When they held them in Greece, they were right. The city-states of Greece fell. When they held them in Rome, they were right. Rome fell. When they held them in Britain before the Saxons took over, they were right. They fell. When they held them in Berlin, they were right. They fell. But people think there's going to be some ultimate end, and maybe there will be. You have to ask God about that and those details, as we seem to argue the various interpretations of such a climax. But one thing is for sure, our species has been riddled ever since it began walking on the face of this planet with ends and beginnings and ends and beginnings and ends and beginnings. And it feels a hell of a lot like Act 3 for America to me. It feels like we're coming up on the end. And I guess that lines up directly with the fourth turning. I just hope that we survive the turmoil we're about ready to face so that we can experience, endure, and frankly enjoy the rebirth that comes after every decimation. Bak, your turn.
If they come to draft me, I'm going to hit them with this song. I am down for the TRT, but I ain't down for World War III. And then you'll see me in a camp.
Oh my gosh. You're a lunatic, Bacchus.
No, so the automatic registration is for up to 25.
Oh.
But the who can be eligible to be drafted was raised to 42.
I see. Okay. Well, there you have it. But we knew that, right? That automatic registration was starting.
Well, I made an X post about this. You can really see why the data centers are up. You can see why the flock infrastructure and the Axon coming in after that, that's harder to take down, is going up all over the place. The way you pacify a nation, I believe my X post was, you export all the military-age fighting men to die on a foreign battlefield before you domestically tighten the noose here.
Yeah.
And then you see that they have all these combat robots ready, that they have all, remember, what do they call it? Spot, the robot dogs?
Yeah.
They have all the loitering drones ready. So, yeah, just get all the military-age fighting men out.
No revolutionaries left over here.
It's not going to be televised. It's going to be done in batches. First, the youngest, most capable, all the way up to 42. They lure you into the van with a little TRT. They'll get me in the van.
This is what pisses me off so much. I'm so frustrated with our whole entire political system because there are certain very obvious things that anyone with common sense agrees with, regardless of their political perspective or disposition. Whether you're a leftist or a right-winger. I mean, doesn't everybody pretty much agree that it's wrong for a government to force you to go to a war that you don't want to participate in?
Yeah.
Especially if it's overseas. I can understand an argument for the draft if there's like an invasion happening. Hey, everybody, if you don't fight in this war, we actually are fucked as a whole, right? I get that. But our national security apparatus has become so abstract and obscure in what is actually considered a national security threat that in the name of fighting for freedom, that's one of my pet peeves. I love all of our veterans. I appreciate the sacrifices that they've made. I admire their discipline. I wish that I wish that I could have been a military guy. I honestly do. I think I would have really benefited from it. Not that I would have necessarily enjoyed it. War is hell. I understand, and I understand that a lot of people in the military never went to war, but I think that it would have been very good for me to have that discipline, that camaraderie, that experience. And so this is not a knock on anybody who served in the military in any of the wars that we've been in. But I hate it when veterans are described in current day context as having fought for our freedom?
Like you see Rob
I
O'Neill.
went to Afghanistan to fight for your freedom.
Yeah,
the
but
fuck are you talking about?
They were brainwashed a lot of times, and a lot of the returning veterans, they don't feel that way anymore.
I'm not bitching about them saying that. Like the way that the political class exploits their service, right? And just talks about it.
Yeah.
I just such bullshit.
Well, look at the veteran suicide rate. It's not like these people don't learn. A lot of that.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the veterans.
You know?
I'm knocking the propaganda around them.
Yeah.
They don't perpetuate the propaganda themselves.
No, and they're the opposite when they come back and they realize the VA's not taking care of them and they fought for some foreign war that didn't matter. So and a lot of them end up taking their own lives.
Yeah.
So it's way more complex than that. Like you're describing the when they're young, dumb, and full of cum going off to war. Then when they come back and they're like, they have these beards and they're homeless, dude.
But I'm not talking about the veterans directly. I'm just saying I don't like it when special interest individuals, campaigners, whatever, exploit military servicemen by just like it's like
of course
it's like Erica Kirk with the video at the casket. She's like, who videos that close with the camera the morning of your assassinated husband? I mean, Jackie Kennedy didn't even get that kind of treatment. Who videos that and says, yeah, go ahead and post that. That'll be good.
In an information war, perception is everything.
I take videos of you to tease you.
Yeah,
when
why
you
do you do that?
When you don't know. And it really pisses you off.
Why do you do that?
Because it's so funny.
I'm
You're
gonna
the
start
funniest
calling
guy
you
I've ever met.
Chasey Flock.
That's fine.
I'm surreptitiously fucking filming Asians. You like doing that, huh?
Yeah,
You
right.
shooting some Asian porn, huh?
Right. How would you like it if I filmed you mourning your dead spouse? And I uploaded it like, hey, that'll be really good for our brand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Show will take off.
Bro, I'm not... The TPUS gay shit, I'm way...
I said your spouse, not a dude.
Yeah, but it's like TPUSA is riding off the optics of that.
Yes, exactly. Right? And I think that our political class does the same thing. They fought for your freedom.
Oh,
like,
isn't it
just exploit
ironic the
tragedy.
first domestic casualty of this is Lindsey Graham? How ironic is that, too?
Yeah.
Like domestically here in Conus, if he did in fact die here.
Do you think that he was killed by the Russians?
I think that they knew he was touring that drone factory and they definitely bombed the shit out of it and he probably had...
And they just said, oops.
Like a heart attack. No, it was done on purpose. He probably had a heart attack and they shipped him back over here for treatment, but he didn't make it. That's me conspiracizing.
That makes the most sense to me, too.
Yeah. Shout out Squeezy VZ. Thank you for the $10 super chat. They're going to scoop up all the capable fighting men and send them off to die in the desert so there's no resistance on the home front while they tighten down the control over the courts and police. 100% agree with you. Thank you, Humble Hashmaker, for the gold coin for 10 jewels.
Yeah, all that'll be left will be the single women.
Oh, they're getting drafted too, bro.
It's going to be the purple hairs here, dude, running everything.
They're going. That's going to be integrated into your unit. You're not safe either, bro.
Dude, they're not going to draft women.
They're for the Selective Service, 100%.
They might make them sign up, but they're not getting picked.
Yeah, once the men die, the women go.
Pete Hegseth's going to test the women for testosterone.
No, obviously.
Well,
not.
Caitlin, you're over 42, but you really have a lot of tea.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. We also hate being told we fought for freedom, bro. 22 a day. My gunny was one. He kept me out of trouble. And it sucks ass. We hate this administration. Yeah, it's a hard lesson a lot of veterans learn when they come back. My friends that were prior service guys,
Born
they
on the
say
4th
the
of
same
July
shit.
with Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July, that true story about that Vietnam vet.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. I read the second one first. Sorry about that. I fortunately already did my time. Yeah, Honey Badger with the dick is a prior service guy. He's a vet, so he can definitely attest to this. Fortunately, already did my time, so I won't be drafted. And internationally fucked my last PT. Oh, intentionally fucked my last PT score, so they won't call me back. Thank you, Andrew Team America. Sent 100 for 2 jewels. Thank you very much, sir. I think the most American thing you can do is, this has been on the horizon. You see MTG call for it, a tax revolt in tandem with a draft revolt. Like, no, we're not coming.
Well, during the Vietnam War, there was massive burning.
Well, they called it a conscientious objection left. And then don't forget the last time, too. How many, like, they remember when they made all the military service people, every branch get the COVID shot, and then
a lot of people quit.
They objected. A lot
and
of
then
people
they had
quit.
to like rescind the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they all want them back. Why? So they could just do it to you again? Because you know it's not going to end, bro.
I don't know, man. I think Anthony Fauci is really misunderstood. He seems like a really good guy to me.
Mr. AZT himself.
You know what really pissed me off? Can I give you another example? Today, Rand Paul posted, and he said something true. I'm not knocking Rand, but I'm knocking Rand. Rand Paul posted, if Anthony Fauci perjures himself at Wednesday's hearing, like he did his last hearing, then that will not be protected under President Biden's pardon. Right? Then why the fuck wasn't Anthony Fauci prosecuted?
The first time?
Yeah, for the 2 years that he didn't have a pardon. Nothing ever happens except we lose buying power and we get fucked. That's all that ever happens.
I mean, the globalists know the collapse is coming.
The fact that Rand Paul...
We're begging. Why are you begging?
Would imply that there was any hope that Anthony Fauci would be prosecuted for perjury.
Yeah, so
regardless of whatever life. It pisses me off, dude.
So why do you have any hope that we're going to take the country back in 2032, bro? You know Democrats go for the throat. We're just country club Republicans. Limp dick cucks. Wow, thank you so much, Contact's mom, man PG, for the $50 super chat. She said, we're amazing with an emoji.
Hell yeah, I love her.
Yeah. Her name's Annette, by the way. Very sweet woman.
We never stream without Annette.
Yeah, pray for Annette, too. She's going through some tough times. We have you in mind, Annette. I pray for you almost every night.
We should send her some flowers.
That's Contact's mom.
We'll send her some flowers.
We should send her some flowers.
And a Lord Baldwin costume.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to make a good point. What was it? Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Annette.
You made a good point about, Chasen, why do you have any hope for 2032? But look at the historical parallels. Dude, Weimar Republic was all fucked up. Totally corrupt, massive inflation, massive desperation, massive submission to foreign interests in the aftermath of the Treaty of Versailles. And they had a 1933 that erased all of that. And honestly, one of the most amazing things about the Third Reich is how little violence it took to totally take over and change the German government. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there were beatings and there was Kristallnacht and there was the Reichstag and definitely some scandalous things associated with the rise of the Third Reich in Germany. But there was no civil war. There was no revolution. There was a little bit of conflict and struggle, Mein Kampf, for a few years, couple years.
What a reach.
Really the last 6 months. And they took power and they totally changed the whole government. I honestly think that similar to how, we had a transition from Weimar to the Third Reich, we had a transition from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution of the United States of America. I think that we're on the cusp of a total new form of the United States politically, a new political system.
I'm not as idealistic as you.
I'm not saying it's going to be good.
These people are on their way down. That's to the extent I'll agree with you. But they have their hooks and their claws everywhere. Special interests.
But if there wasn't some integrity for the elections, then why is it that special interests like AIPAC would spend so many tens of millions of dollars trying to win them?
You're basically saying the propaganda wouldn't be necessary if they already won, essentially. It's that same quote.
Kind of.
But I'm saying we're at the end. We're at the fourth turning, right?
Yeah.
We're at the end of the whole boomer cycle with the 401ks and asset appreciation, and we're going into headlong into the fourth turning, the fourth technological revolution, the second industrial revolution in this country, and now you're like,
do you know how fucking rich the boomers are going to be if massive deflation happens rapidly, like Elon Musk and Jeff
they're
Bezos
fucked.
say? No, they'll be deflation. They'll be rich.
Well, no, because most of the boomers have their asset appreciation in their houses. They're not going to be rich.
But they're paid off.
Yeah, but they spent their whole life paying into
but
that.
the boomers are the ones that have their money in the stock market. Well, I guess with deflation, the stock market would crash, wouldn't it?
It crashes, yeah.
Oh, so just basically everybody with cash is in good shape.
No, anyone who owns land. Dude, this is why. This is the last time I'll bring up gardening.
If you have $100,000 in savings, not shit by today's standards, and there's massive deflation, that's an increase in your buying power. So anybody who's actually got cash is going to be in good shape.
No, because cash is the death of the petrodollar also coincides with this. The only person that's going to be in good shape, you're fucking looking at him. It's me. You know why? Because I lived my life as a pirate and I stored away a bunch of booty. My precious gold, my precious silver.
You think you're going to make it?
I don't know if I'm going to survive to enjoy it.
Is your shit stored in a major city?
No.
Nice.
Thank you, Mr. C USA Patriot, for the $10 super chat. Some wild ass fourth turning shit is absolutely on the horizon, guys. Yeah. Why do we talk about silent weapons for quiet wars? Why is everything?
Let's talk about game theory.
This is all game. My whole life is a game theory. Let me sit up for this. My tailbone's been aching. Clay Aiken. You guys remember that?
Yeah, you won American Idol.
Yeah, you remember Clay Aiken, bro? That's why I do this.
How could I forget?
Oh, hold on. Should we? Since we're on the military draft thing, let's bring it back into lane. Should we play clip 101?
I bet you what you were gonna say was better.
Not as good as what Alex Jones was going to say.
Oh, that's true.
Trump last year got legislation passed.
Here, and I'm starting to hear inkling and rumbling of it. And Alex was the first guy who gained traction with this. I believe Trump is being set up to be thrown overboard. He's being set up for a 25th Amendment situation here.
In what angle would they use to get him on 25? Would they use a dementia angle? Would they use a cancer angle?
It's the war angle. This war is going to end up so bad for the whole administration.
The 25th Amendment is for incompetence, right? Or incapability to fulfill the duties of the President of the United States for implicitly health reasons or corruption, right?
Yeah. You see the framing with, is he under mind control technology? You see the framing with them joking around. All he does is eat McDonald's and drink Diet Coke, which is true. I think he's lost. I believe there's double, even triple agents in his administration that have been well placed to guide him to this point.
What's a triple agent?
It's someone who goes trans 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. A triple agent would be...
So I'm spying on you for China.
Yeah.
And then I'm spying on China
No,
for
I'm spying against you for the deep state, but I'm actually really working for a foreign actor. So I'm not even working for the internal faction that's opposed to you in your country. I'm working on behalf of a foreign agent like Israel or China.
Yeah, that's some game theory.
Yeah, exactly. So he's been being guided along these rails to a war he can't possibly win through a land invasion, to a point where nuclear weapons might have to be deployed to get the genie back in the bottle, per se. And you're going to institute a draft. We haven't seen the likes of this since Vietnam, since the
what
draft
comes first,
lottery.
nukes or a draft?
Draft comes first. It's going to go false flag, massive false flag. Then you're going to hear the drum beats of war. Then you see the draft infrastructure scaling up, being set up. Then you see the draft. And then you see, wow, we can't. Our men and women are dying over there at a rate we haven't seen since Vietnam.
I bet the terrorist attack. I bet you the false flag that they used to get us into war with Iran. I bet the fucking Iranians, quote Iranians. I bet they flag, and they use that as a like 9/11 2.0. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Was it Rahm Emanuel that said you never let a good crisis go to waste? It was Rahm Emanuel.
I think Nancy Pelosi repeated it. I don't know if she said it the first time.
It's not ever going to be a 1-for-1. The Illuminati initiated an action to get 3, 4, 5 results from it.
Massive earthquakes in Tehran, cruise ship hijacking.
You're going to go with the cruise ship hijacking? I'm going to go with a chemical weapons release.
No.
Why? You see the digital infrastructure. They're going to say cash is dirty.
Poison is a woman's
They're going to
weapon.
say locked. Dude, biological weapons release fulfills so many of the goals they have in mind.
Biological or biochemical?
Either or. Same fucking thing, pretty much.
Well,
with the end
gassing
result.
somebody and giving them a virus, I mean, obviously the outcome's the same, but it's totally different.
Could be a dirty bomb, too. That's not biological or biochemical, or chemical. NBC, there's a reason. Nuclear, biological, chemical. It ends with the same end result.
If I was Iran, I would nuke myself.
It gets you in a lockdown. It gets you scared to go out and build a resistance and march in the streets and go into the Capitol. It makes cash dirty.
Houthis are going to steal a cruise ship.
The Houthis going to steal a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. Bak, Robert Tepper, no easy way out is from Rocky IV after Apollo dies while he's driving the Porsche.
I'm the captain now.
I forgive you for mixing the movies up. Sorry about that, bro. Yeah. I 100% mixed the movies up. But you get what I'm saying here, dude. We're in maximum false flag territory right now.
100%.
Yeah.
But there's not...
Stir up the nationalism, get the war drums beating, get our people over there, get them filmed on camera getting slaughtered. Because there's...
I think the Iranians are behind the T-Mobile outage today.
Ooh, now we're thinking, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the $10 super chat. Very generous, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Trump isn't going to last till 2080. He's looking rough. I think so, too. Plus, there are a ton of...
Yeah, but Nancy's been looking rough for 30 fucking years.
Yeah, but she doesn't eat McDonald's and drink Diet Coke every day. There are a ton of Quds Force looking for him. Yeah, they just gave him a guilty verdict via...
Oh, the best false flag would be for them to
assassinate
kill
President Trump. Now we're starting to really, game theory.
They already set that up with the Air Force One that was gifted by Qatar.
Yep, they put that narrative's been out there.
They put that in the ionosphere.
I gotta finish Mr. C's super chat. Plus, he sealed his fate by saying we'll hit Iran for a year. Gave Bibi the green light. Yeah, Alex has been saying that for years too. For years, ever since Soleimani, the general in the first term.
Yeah, now everybody that wants to go to war with Iran knows all they have to do is kill Trump. Make it look like the Iranians did it.
Yeah. He 100% gave him the green light. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the super chat. Shopping center, Black Friday. I don't know what that means.
So you think JD Vance is going to be president for the last year of his term? Trump's term?
I mean, he's very well positioned by the PayPal
What's
mafia.
the deal with JD Vance? Is he like Nick Fuentes says, terrible? Or is he just...
Dude, he's a what? He's a 2-term or 1-term senator? Before he became the vice president?
I think it was 2016 when he got into politics.
So he's a 2-term senator.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
That's
yeah.
very similar to the path Barack Obama had.
They put him in the Senate. That's the step up to the presidency.
And then immediately got the presidency.
He's fresh blood, not much context. So
unknown. Political unknown.
You can paint him however you want him.
It'd be more telling to look at who Vance's backers are than Vance himself. We don't really know. Like, all I know about him is he loves to talk about his Mima, and he possibly wears mascara.
Who funded his first Senate campaign?
I believe it was Peter Thiel.
Really?
Don't quote me on this. You've been fact checking me. My ticker's not as good as my pecker, and neither are good.
Who funded JD Vance's first Senate campaign? List the largest donors. Okay, we'll figure this out.
So we
But I saw Amy Adams play his mom in that movie, and it was just real sentimental and sweet.
You watched the movie?
I watched the movie.
What did the movie tell you? It was a biopic?
Yeah, it was like a Lifetime movie about him being a little kid and his mom being addicted to pills.
Okay, so more than half of America.
It flashes back to when he's a little kid, and then it flashes to him in college trying to spend time with his girlfriend who he later married, and then his mom's in rehab again. And yeah, it's like a Lifetime movie.
I get nervous about Vance. People say I'm for Vance, I'm for Rubio, I'm for neither of them.
Here we go. Peter Thiel was by far the largest funder of JD Vance's first 2022 U.S. Senate campaign in Ohio. So 2022, he's that young, 4 years. He ran for Senate, and 2 years later, he was the vice president. That's wild.
Yeah, it's the Obama path.
Thiel, PayPal co-founder, and Vance's former boss at a venture capital firm gave a total of $15 million to the Protect Ohio Values super PAC, which spent heavily on ads and other support for Vance, especially in the Republican primary. This was widely described as a record amount from a single individual for one Senate candidate at the time. Thiel's contribution made up the large majority, roughly 75% of the PAC's funding. Other major individual donors to pro-Vance groups, primarily Protect Ohio Values, Walter W. Buckley Jr. I wonder if he's related to William Buckley. 1 to 1.2 million. David Sachs, Silicon Valley investor, former PayPal executive. He's from the
AI Cryptos
Full Send podcast. Not Full Send, but
the one with the Indian CEO.
Yeah, what's that podcast called? It's pretty good. 900,000
The
million.
Big Tech CEO podcast.
Elizabeth Uline, Uline co-founder, $250,000. Karen B. Wright, I'm not sure who that is, $250,000. John C. Addison, $200,000. Richard Kurtz, $100,000. Robert L. Mercer, $100,000. Additional contributions came from the Lindner family of Ohio and others in the hundreds of thousands range. Vance's official campaign committee raised roughly $16 million total, including individual donations, PACs, transfers, and $1.4 million in candidate loans self-funding. Direct individual contributions to the campaign itself were capped by federal limits and were far smaller than the super PAC money. Of course, that's how it always goes. In the general election against Tim Ryan, the Senate Leadership Fund, aligned with Mitch McConnell, spent more than $30 million supporting Vance, far exceeding what Vance's own campaign raised. Outside spending overall in the race was very high, with Protect Ohio values accounting for a large share of the pro-Vance independent expenditures in the primary. In short, Thiel's $15 million super PAC investment was the decisive early funding that helped Vance win a competitive primary. Other wealthy donors and later party establishment groups filled in additional support. Data comes primarily from FEC filings and open secrets. I want to know, what about AIPAC? Conveniently not included in that response from Grok. Very interested to know about AIPAC on that particular campaign. But, so, I mean, if Thiel funded him just 4 years ago, that means that he's...
What would be the most effective psyop off the heels of MAGA? I'm just one of you guys. I'm just a country boy, born around the Appalachia region of Ohio. I love my Mima. And I just want to be vice president and stick up for you and go on Joe Rogan and give you 80% what you want to hear without telling you the rest of the most important 20% of my agenda. The South will rise again. I love America, Mima. I love MAGA.
Republican Jewish Coalition PAC gave about 40 grand. NORPAC about 26 grand. U.S. Israel PAC around 5 grand. Not so much from AIPAC. These figures are tiny compared to the dominant funding sources. I think if they knew that he had it in the bag, they didn't have to throw money at it. Vance visited Israel during the campaign. During the campaign for Senate, he visits Israel, including speaking at CPAC Israel, and expressed strong support for the U.S.-Israel relationship, which aligned with positions favored by these groups. However, the money trail for his first Senate race was driven overwhelmingly by Thiel. So Thiel bought a senator. He tried to do the same thing with Blake Masters in Arkansas.
I'll give anyone. I do this all the time, too, so I'm even speaking to myself. You have the grace to change your mind. But he's slick enough to play politics. He called Trump a Nazi when it was popular, leading up to the 2020 campaign.
And then won him back over.
It's just me, my Mima, and Donnie, and we're all boys. Now we're gonna save America.
Well, the fascinating thing about that is if JD Vance truly hated Trump like he expressed that he did, does that mean that all of his peers quietly felt the same way, like the Peter Thiels?
He's cosplaying as a libertarian. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but. Peter Thiel is?
Yeah, they're one of the main funders of Rumble, the free speech platform.
Have you heard the story about Peter Thiel's adopted baby?
Can I shout out these super chats before we talk about his gay baby? Or
what do you think the audience would rather hear?
All right, tell me about
Peter
Thiel.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Honey Badger, thank you for the $5 super chat. The false flag y'all are talking about hit a big spot on holiday, maybe Memorial Day or 9/11 just for the psychological effect. Shout out Mr. C, USA Patriot. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, he's a tech bro plant, 100%. Look at his backers. Yeah. And shout out Squeezy VZ. I still say Tucker for Prez. Kent and Massey have a huge populist backing as well. Could we get enough independents united to vote in a black horse?
Yeah, but Kent and Massey are like Ron Paul. They say all the right things. They do all the right things, but they just don't know how to win.
Independents they can swing an election. They can't win an election by themselves.
We need fucking winners. That was why Trump was such a promising candidate. He's a fucking winner.
Paradigm shift once in a lifetime.
Now it's a war with Iran, then it's never over.
Trump is the deep state. 100%. He came in there and he co-opted and took it over so they couldn't prosecute him and persecute him. And now he is the deep state, directing the deep state against his enemies. And we're his enemies because we're going headlong into a tax revolt. We're going headlong into a draft revolt. If you don't see these things coming on the horizon, then you're mentally retarded. And then let's hear about, give me that baby. Let's hear about Thiel's baby.
Do you think Barron's going to get drafted?
No. Barron's just going to sit and inside trade the whole war. Thanks, Dad. Don't forget to tell him about my coin.
No, he'll do the service, but he'll be a remote drone operator from California.
He's not gonna get drafted.
He'll sit on the beach with his VR goggles on, and he'll just bomb.
Dude,
shit.
You're out of your mind if you think he's.
That's
gonna
be his service, dude. He's gonna be bombing shit with VR goggles on at the beach.
He's gonna grow.
Lonnie is gonna be like, "You want some lemonade?" He's gonna be like, "Shut up, Mom."
Dad, I got an impromptu bone spur.
Oh, we got a bomb. All right. Well, let's keep going through these clips.
We can do anonymous autistic guy 102. We can skip over that or look
Is he annoying?
He's not annoying. He makes very good points.
All right. I'll humor you.
The United States government is now planning to war game
We
and
can kill him.
simulate
No.
a large-scale mobilization
In Minecraft.
military draft.
No, we can kill
According
the
to new
feed
reporting today
on
from the
him,
Military
not kill
Times,
him.
there are new plans in the works
Jesus
for the United
Christ.
States
This guy
Selective
talks like he might
Service
marry
system
somebody
to
that
create
works for
a computer
TPUSA.
simulation to test scenarios for its national mobilization. It's called the Readiness Simulation Project. And while it comes just months before the U.S. government is preparing to change the way it does its registration system.
reading this
because under
shit.
a new proposed rules starting in December of this year, anyone between the age of 18 to 26, I'm 27, will be automatically registered into the Selective Service. The Selective Service will work off of data from other federal databases to do this. And so now they're putting out a request for vendors to submit simulation models by August 14th, according to the Military Times. And the goal is simple: a computer simulation to test exactly how the United States government would carry out a national mobilization of American manpower just months before the government begins automatically registering all men between the ages of 18 and 26 for the military draft. I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word, follow for more. And not for the military draft, but for the Selective Service, which is the draft.
And which is conveniently called the SSS.
He just
Selective
said everything
Service
we already
System.
talked about.
Yeah, but it was a good breakdown and a good cap on the issue.
All right. What's this boring Ukraine strike?
Diplomatic efforts unfold with Iran. The
not boring.
Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen are once again in direct conflict with Saudi Arabia after attacking 2 Saudi-owned oil tankers last week. The Saudis responded with heavy airstrikes against the Yemen-based proxy group. The Houthis then ramped up attacks on Saudi oil refineries, launching new missiles over the weekend. Days ago, President Trump issued a warning to the Houthis, saying that if attacks on vessels in the Red Sea continue, that both the Houthis and Iran would pay a military price. Despite this, the Houthis are still threatening the Bab al-Mandab Strait, saying that a blockade on Saudi vessels remains in effect. We're also tracking another interesting development involving Ukraine. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukrainian forces struck Iranian vessels that were carrying military cargo between Russia and Iran in the Caspian Sea, an expanding front in this war. Countries across the region do remain on alert today, including Israel.
I hate
The
this
Israelis
fucking
held a
guy.
cabinet meeting this morning, and there are questions about
Something
what
about
the
his
days ahead
race.
will bring. Guys?
That's how it started.
Every
folks.
time I see him, he's in Tel Aviv, bro.
Yeah, he's like the official Israeli correspondent for Fox.
I mean, the main point I was trying to make there by including that clip was we are now seeing the merger of the European front, Ukraine, with the Middle Eastern front, because everything in between Iran and Ukraine is this massive energy corridor extending through Central Asia. It's BRICS versus NATO and Western allies essentially fighting who's going to get the energy corridor of the future. Is it going to be IMEC? Is it going to be China's Belt and Road Initiative?
Unless energy isn't based on oil.
It will be based on oil for the foreseeable near future because oil means control. They're not going to give up control. We could have laid...
Why the fuck did UFO disclosures go all over the news and then disappear?
I mean, why did that admiral wear a mask?
Yeah, why?
There's only one theory that I can think of that makes sense. And I don't even believe in it. The Q-tards believe in this. The Q-tards believe that a bunch of the politicians got handed... remember when those notes were going around at the different funeral processions? And
Yeah, the Hillary Clinton and stuff, and they all looked
and they were
alarmed
all
when they read
looking
them.
at it. The Q-tards are saying that a lot of these people are already in Gitmo, or that they were killed, like Joe Biden was killed in 2019. That's an actor playing him. And they think there's hundreds of actors in D.C. playing the role of these politicians. Yeah, Harvard.
That's a mask, bro.
Oh, 100% that's a mask.
And he was all cryptic and weird about it the next day when he did a follow-up interview.
The second theory behind this was that Harwood was somewhere planning the Iran war, the next phase of the Iran war. So they had to have someone play Harwood on TV to make it look like he was somewhere where he was not.
You know who that is, right? That's Matthew McConaughey. They had to get the best actor they possibly could. They asked him if he would do it. He said, all right, all right.
You think McConaughey's the best actor?
No. It's obviously Zendaya.
Yeah. Obviously Robert Downey Jr., bro. Come on, Iron Man.
We watched so much Iron Man this weekend. Dude, the third one was so good until the last 20%.
Yeah, they do a bunch of you could see it get more and more woke. You could actually see what happened to the country based on Iron
It's like
Man.
a guy that they fired wrote the first half, and he was an old guard guy. You know, I've been writing superhero movies since the 80s, right? He was awesome
Pepper
at it.
had the Iron Man suit, and she was like, oh, and then she was shooting fire, and she was Iron Woman.
Yeah.
That just pissed me off so much. Repeal the 19th Amendment. Anyways, should we go to clip 104?
Sure.
President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed that Russia is preparing to recruit an additional 30,000 North Korean servicemen to support its military campaign in Ukraine, warning that the expanding partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang poses a growing threat far beyond the battlefield. Speaking in his nightly address, Zelensky said preparations have been underway since June in Russia's Voronezh region to receive the troops, while also alleging that North Korea is preparing to supply Russia with new ballistic missile launchers. He argued that the military cooperation is not only strengthening Russia's war effort, but also providing North Korea with valuable combat experience, advanced weapons knowledge.
Hold on. This is incredible to threaten their hold on democratic power.
That was very accurate.
But also for countries across Asia within.
But what does this indicate here? The main thing people missed was North Korea provided millions of artillery shells, which is it's drones and artillery that's causing most of the casualties and deaths in the Ukraine-Russian war. This next round of 30,000, probably more than that, I would say it's understated, North Korean men. North Korea is trading blood for technology. Russia's giving them satellite technology. Russia's giving them intelligence capability. Russia's giving them submarine technology. And the main problem here that everyone needs to look out for is North Korea is a full proxy with nuclear weapons for China. So they're priming the proxy to enter into the Asian theater of war against Japan, against South Korea.
Right, the Indo-Pacific.
Exactly, that whole region. Against the Philippines, possibly even against Vietnam, which is why China's so emboldened, because they're not even going to have to act first. China's going to use North Korea in a similar way that the United States used Ukraine.
What if we made everyone in Israel go to North Korea, and we made everyone in North Korea go to Israel?
Would never happen. You see what Kim Jong-un's been saying about the Jews?
No, what'd he say?
Oh, he's saying he's going to nuke Tel Aviv.
He hates the Jews?
Yeah, he's saying there are no Jews
So that means China hates
allowed.
the Jews. Kim Jong-un doesn't say shit that China doesn't approve.
Well, it's cloak and dagger here. It's Game of Thrones. China actually does not like the cooperation between North Korea and Russia, because historically they've been enemies. And where the Chinese-Russian border is, there's a huge lake called Lake Baikal, which has almost 20% of the world's fresh water. And what China does is they regularly have border incursions over the Russian border, and they export their rowdy civilians that they don't even want in their own country to go settle that land. So you see the game within the game here. Russia actually wants to steal North Korea for their own proxy use. It's weird. It's when you get to the geopolitics of it all, it gets very convoluted. It's very complex. China and Russia should have been the most unlikely allies. The partnership that should
But they both have a common communist heritage.
just because they have similar.
Workers of the world unite.
Yeah, but they're just too close to each other in the technological base. Like if you look at the history, if that holds true, they're both communists. They should get along and be communist best friends. Why were they fighting wars with each other in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s? You know, it's not the friend of my friend is
Well, Russia
the
fought
enemy
on
of
both
my
sides.
friend.
Russia fought on both sides of the war in the World War II.
Yeah, the natural alliance should have been the U.S. with Russia. The U.S. has the technological base, and Netanyahu right now as we speak.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm skipping ahead here. Yes.
Whole memorialization through the rotunda and the funeral as a cover story to keep planning for this war.
Really?
That's why, I mean, Zelensky, it makes sense because Graham loved these wars. They were like
You know, it's perfect. It's a perfect opportunity.
It's the perfect opportunity to get in. You see the war continually
Why
expanding.
wasn't Russia invited? Why wasn't Putin invited?
Oh, you've loved Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, dear old Lindsey, you were my favorite ladybug. Obviously, Putin's not coming to the freaking U.S. We haven't even seen a state visit. Do you think it was Putin that came to that Alaska visit? Because people were saying that was a body double.
I think it was. Well, I don't know. They're tricky.
100%.
I hadn't doubted it until you just mentioned that.
I mean, that was the conspiracy theory going around. Then the second one was that Putin applied some sort of poison to Trump during the handshake. Remember that?
What was the reaction to the poison?
I don't know, but ever since he shook Putin's hand, he started having all those weird freaking cholesterol marks across his wrist and stuff.
That's right.
I think that's from drawing blood.
You think so?
Yeah, but he's clearly getting... I think Trump has congestive heart failure at some version of it. I don't know if it's mild or very, very advanced.
Well, he's been on stimulants a long time. It's supposed to be hard on your heart.
Yeah, what, ephedrine? Yeah, remember when he had that, the cough drops he got photographed with? Now, this is... We know about 219. We know about Zelensky getting the license to produce Patriot missile systems. Not missile systems, the Patriot missiles themselves. No one's talking about what's happening with the UAE right now, though, if we can hit clip 106.
The United States has eased export controls on advanced computing technology destined for the United Arab Emirates. Approved UAE companies and American firms operating there can now access NVIDIA AI chips and military equipment without export licenses. The move follows decades of U.S.-UAE cooperation on regional security matters. This policy change strengthens bilateral relations while supporting American technology companies in the region.
This was just the best breakdown.
It's good content, but I'd rather have you make the clip and then us play you. You know,
I'll just read this lady's monologue.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
yeah.
So we see Saudi Arabia potentially getting the go-ahead for enrichment of uranium. We see Section 219, which passed the House. We see Zelensky got the approval to manufacture his own Patriot missiles via
that was just an
license and
excuse for
technology
us not being
transfer.
able to give him any, though.
Now UAE is being given the most advanced NVIDIA chips for Lord knows what. I'm guessing AI targeting.
Which is strange because Elon Musk has publicly come out and said repeatedly that when they've tried to work with NVIDIA on meeting the demand for their chips, NVIDIA has simply not had the infrastructure in place to meet the demand for Tesla's, SpaceX, whatever. Right? And he's like, that's why we're building our own chip manufacturing facilities here in the United States of America, because after meeting with NVIDIA and trying to figure out if they can supply us with the chips that we need for our massive production, they just said they can't do it. But apparently they still have enough capacity. They can't meet domestic demand for their chips, but they have enough capacity to give to the UAE. Why does that take priority?
Because the military defense industrial complex always takes priority.
Exactly.
War fulfills so many goals of the satanic elite, from the meta to the micro.
From the macro to the micro.
Exactly what you just said. I do kind of want to pivot here a little bit. I think since we're on this, let's play. The reason this is so important is the lithography machines were the last component stopping China from being able to produce chips at the nanoscale. It's the hardest thing to do. Dutch companies have the lithography machines. They ship them off to TSMC, to Taiwan. Taiwan has all the chemicals and all the fab plants that are super sterile. They've, mastered the process, which they learned from us and Intel. This was supposed to be the one thing that gave America the edge in the AI arms race. And now the reason I had you skip so far ahead was that's why I believe that the arms exports and the chip exports are being taken off now, because they go, holy fuck.
They don't want China to just flood those markets?
China stole these machines for well over a decade, and they couldn't recreate it to the same specs that the Dutch and the Taiwanese could. It's one of the hardest, it's the most high, it's like building a quantum supercomputer. It's at that level. These lithography machines are the most sophisticated pieces of tech on the planet.
So they've just spent the last 10, 20 years reverse engineering them and
they couldn't get it right, but now this is the year that they finally got it right. And they could produce 3 nanometer scale chips now down to the micron.
Well, did they crack it just by sending a bunch of students to MIT for the last few generations?
I mean, no one knows, but out of nowhere, this Chinese startup came out and said, no, we have a company that can make lithography machines. Some of the most sophisticated tech in the world, we're talking industrial-wise.
Yes.
They were never supposed to be able to get here, ever. Not on a timeline that mattered.
Wasn't it inevitable? I mean, come on, dude.
20 years from now,
we bomb Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and within 10 years, like a bunch of countries seem to have
It takes
nukes.
the brain trust of the most advanced countries working in tandem to produce a lithography machine. Taiwanese
I know,
engineers,
and
American planners.
The same thing's true for the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
But as we saw, history showed us that once one group figures something out, it's not very long before other groups figured the same thing out. So it's like it took forever for the first Olympian to run a mile in less than 4 miles, and then now they all do it.
If this is correct, and this company isn't bullshitting just to shock the Western markets, and they can actually produce 5 of these machines in 1 year, they are hyperscaling at the most highest technological level.
Why were all the valuations down? Why were all the
because that company announced they can produce 5 lithography machines in a 12-month period. We can't even. It's hard for Western companies with the whole brain trust of the West to produce 1 or 2 a year of these. They're massive. They're not like small.
Right, and they don't have any of the environmental regulations over there. So they're going to make all the data centers, and they're going to have a.
You've seen that they rattled the AI market with DeepSeek and Moonshot. Now they're rattling the fab market with having these lithography machines. Granted, like assuming they work and at the scale that they're saying 5 in 1 year. Holy shit! That's why the Kospi crashed, the Korean stock market. That's why the Mag 7 crashed that we covered the other day. In anticipation, it was all the insiders. Wow! Like, holy shit! CSMXI, I believe, is the abbreviation for that company. Did they really just announce like a shot across the bow that they can produce the most advanced chips, equivalent or even possibly greater than what NVIDIA is producing right now?
Okay, so what happens if they mass produce these chips?
We're fucked. We lost the AI arms race, and that they waited for all the Western world to invest
and overinvest. Yeah,
yeah, and then now they're popping the bubble, pop, and it's just like the ultimate rug pull. Thank you so much, Alaska Rants, huge supporter of the channel. He's in the panel, guys. Follow him if you're on X in Spaces. LNG, hydrogen, CO2 data pipelines will be the new currency. But what do I know? Oil's a side piece. I love high utility prices. CBAM in action. Very smart guy. I only understood about 35% of that. But thank you very much, Alaska Rants, for the super chat. We really appreciate you. So that's why I push so far up ahead, bro. Because I think that explains why we're exporting all this technology. It's a move of desperation, bro.
Well, if we don't export it, then all those nations,
China will fill the gap. They'll be using Chinese tech.
Right.
There'll be no reason
and
for
the
them
Chinese
to
got
even
control.
Mm-hmm.
And all the spyware they can put on. Yeah, it's over. So we just give them everything and say, please use our stuff. We'll give you a hell of a deal.
If they pop the Mag 7, most of the U.S. GDP and the wealth of the nation is measured in the movement of the stock market. So it's a trap within a trap, dude, because how many people's pension funds, how many people's 401ks, what the wealth that they've amassed over a lifetime, it's in the appreciation of their houses, it's in their retirement funds. You pop the stock market, bro.
1929.
Worse. Even worse, because we're not self-reliant anymore. You can't skin a buck and run a trot line. Most people can't. They freak out when DoorDash doesn't even come.
I freaked out at Chipotle the other day on the guy.
Yeah, you freaked out at Chipotle. They charge you $15 for one scoop of food, bro.
Yeah, and they lied to me about whether or not I ordered a soda.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not cut out for this world.
I have anxiety. It's all right. That's why I always recommend every other episode, plant a garden. Get some land. Plant a garden.
Jesus Christ. Nobody wants to garden. Everybody wants to go to war.
Can we play clip 107? This is very telling of the times.
Okay, so we're backtracking.
Yep.
Right.
I just want to play that one up ahead.
United States that remains the beacon of liberty for the world. As such, we will not be affording them the benefit of listening to their politicized drivel until they renounce their condescending and disrespectful rhetoric and behave in a manner commensurate with their seat.
Who the fuck is this guy?
That's our representative at the UN. He's like an ambassador.
After the U.S. voted against the proposal to extend UN rights, Chief Volker Turk's term by 4 more years.
Mr. Turk has condemned free democracies, including the United States, UK, France, Australia, Italy, and more than any other country, Israel. The UN human rights apparatus has been losing legitimacy for decades. Mr. Turk has guided it to its deathbed. And if you vote to reappoint Volker Turk for a 4-year term, it will kick the bucket.
What he says at the end of this clip is the most telling.
Civilians.
Oh, he already just said it.
That there is a member of this council that will feign moral outrage and pretend to lecture the rest of us about every topic.
So at the same time, you see the U.S. overextended.
Criticizing UN's human rights.
Yeah, he's saying that
apparatus.
the UN's been dying, and if they elect the chair of the UN for another 4 years, it'll kick the bucket.
So he's implying that we're fucking out if you elect this motherfucker.
We're out, and we host the building that Rockefeller had the plot of land in New York that he gave to the UN.
What's our military industrial complex, our government's incentive for leaving the UN?
They're not going to have the UN Security Council veto them in any sort of unilateral action against our adversaries, our so-called adversaries, not our adversaries, the military-industrial complex's adversaries. You can skirt human rights and deploy all sorts of different weapons systems.
Okay, so we want to go to war with Iran. We don't think the UN is going to buy it.
We're not going to go to war with Iran. We're going to go to war with the whole Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, but he specifically mentioned that the leader of the UN human rights, whatever the hell, was antagonistic toward every democracy, including the United States, Italy, names a few, and then he goes, and more than anyone, Israel, which implies to me that his main quip with the guy is that the guy is anti-Israel.
Yeah.
And so I think the concern is that the UN is looking at the human rights violations that have taken place in Gaza and criticizing Israel.
And Lebanon.
When
and
we're
Syria.
trying to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel. And so basically we're saying, hey, look, if the UN is not going to be pro-Israel, we fucking quit. That's what he's saying.
And the main game theory part of this is we covered in past episodes, roughly about a month ago, China has been forming its own UN. China's been forming an AI cooperation council for the whole world, a data sharing organization for the whole world. So as we're withdrawing from the traditional bodies of governance, they're filling the vacuum with these new bodies, these new organizations. That's the main, dude. They've caught up in AI. If this is accurate with what the new startup that they just unveiled, they've caught up with the lithography machines, which they were never ever supposed to do. The new BRICS alliance is coming online with the death of the petrodollar. If there was a deal for a multipolar world cut between Trump and Xi, they're getting the better end of it right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Say again.
If there was a multipolar deal cut for Russia to take Europe, for China to take the whole Southeast Asian theater, and for us to take the Western Hemisphere, that deal might even fall through on its own because they're going to end up, like, how many countries are going to flock to the UN, China's UN, once the real UN
Well, all
fails?
the ones that are indebted to them and dependent on the Belt and Road.
Look at the energy corridor war going through Central Asia with Ukraine, the Ukrainian war merging with the Iranian war. This is a...
Well, nobody really wants to do business with China except for our own government, because I think everybody on that side of the planet understands that China really doesn't give a damn about anyone but themselves.
To clip 109, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to need proof of life.
U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell, his office giving an update a short time ago saying that he is continuing physical therapy and working to get back to a full schedule after being hospitalized for a fall at his Washington, D.C. home back in June. Now, McConnell's office also releasing a new photo of the senator taken on Sunday with his wife at that rehab facility. His office
Chinese
saying
handler
that McConnell
wife
will miss Saturday's Fancy Farm picnic in Kentucky. He says in a statement, quote, "When I first attended 42 years ago, Fancy Farm was a pretty lonely place to be a Republican. Today, Western Kentucky is a conservative Republican sea of red. So I hate that I'll miss the fun this year, but I'm sending my best wishes to the St. Jerome community for a successful picnic. We will keep you updated on the
Sorry, I
senator's
can't
progress."
make it to your picnic.
She was visiting with the vice premier of China, dude. Didn't even come back right away when he allegedly first went to the hospital.
He probably just had a really bad stroke and he's not cognitively recovered.
He's not fit to be a senator. That's for damn
That's what
sure.
it is. He's not dead. He's just not fit to be a senator. They're taking pictures of him. His face looks like it's drooping, like he's had a stroke.
Bro, and she's propping him up like in every.
Yeah.
This is the second one, but it's
Some
so
weekend
fucking
with Bernie
creepy
shit.
looking.
They do the same thing with Biden. They do the same thing with Pelosi. They do the same thing with Mitch McConnell. They did the same thing. Everybody.
Maybe
Reagan, they did it.
Fuentes was onto something. I'm not even proposing this. I'm probably done voting in federal elections. I just don't have it in me to vote for a Democrat. But isn't it ironic that certain offshoots of the Democratic Party are like the ones voting against 219, are the ones actually trying to stop with the House resolution to end the Iran war. And now we have Bashar, who I think this dude's a total cuck piece of shit. But why is it the Democrats demanding the things that the hardcore right-wing America First party should have been doing all along? This is not good for the midterms, guys.
Andy Bashir sent another letter to Senator Mitch McConnell demanding the senator provide evidence he is capable of serving or resign from his post. McConnell and the Office of the Attending Physician provided a brief update on the senator's health earlier Monday, explaining he was not yet cleared to leave rehabilitation therapy and return to Congress. The 84-year-old has been absent from the chamber since he was hospitalized in Washington, D.C. on June 14th after taking a fall. In a scathing letter provided to the Washington Examiner, Bashir addressed McConnell, quote, under the assumption that he is capable of reading and responding verbally and not incapacitated by means of consciousness or cognition, and urged transparency about his condition. The Democratic governor then called on McConnell to, quote, directly and verbally address the people of Kentucky and provide proof of your capacity to serve.
But his term's up, isn't it?
Bashir noted the statement released by
but they're trying to get him across the finish line so there could be another cycle. Like, it's not just a special election right now because it's known he's not fit to serve. It's just crazy that Bashar, Democratic governor, has to come out and do the job we should have been doing the whole fucking time. So let's put a bookend on the domestic politics. And I found this so funny. Clip 111, Fauci's diary. We just broke 3 figures. 105 people watching live.
Hell yeah, first time?
Yep, first time, baby.
Hell yeah.
Woo. If I had a little candle here, I'd blow it out.
I started this party with 7 members.
Yep. Thank you guys so much, man. We really appreciate that. And that gives me hope to not do bad things. Thank you so much.
Trying to sell that powder.
No, cut it out, man. That's the past life. We don't do that shit anymore. I'm a builder. I'm a lover. I'm a pundit. I'm in media now. At the tip of the spear of the information war.
Hold on. There it is. Yeah. All right, we're watching this.
That's what I was trying to say.
It's gonna take a chunk, but we're gonna watch it. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. This is one of my fondest memories working for InfoWars was the day that Alex did this clip. I remember the crew and I were dying, absolutely dying laughing in the control room of the studio at InfoWars. And Alex I think he could hear us laughing through the glass. So it was egging him on and he just kept going and kept going. I mean, he had like it was a Saturday, I think it was a Saturday emergency broadcast. So we all came in to work on a Saturday. No problem. Happy to do it. It's fun to work with Alex. And he did this rant and it was just, I can't even explain it. It was just astoundingly remarkable. Many of you guys probably actually
Thank you, Leroy, for the $20 super chat. He just sent it to us to congratulate us.
Hell yeah, that was nice.
Thank you, Leroy.
But my problem here is I don't know where these downloads are saving. So I downloaded the clip, but I have no idea where it is. Oh, you know what? I bet you I can find it right here. Resume. Yeah, it's going to take a second because it's a long clip. But this is probably one of my top 10, top 5 favorite broadcasts to have been working with the crew in the back on.
And then after that, we'll hit the disease news and the environmental poisoning news.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Because it's silent weapons for quiet war.
Here we go. Now I got to drop this in the right folder. And then I got to pray that Darvis picked it up because I developed him myself.
Crash outs make life worth living. Yeah, they do.
It's true.
I'm here for the crash outs. And this is my favorite part of the segment. Silent weapons for quiet wars.
All right, which clip are you looking at?
Let's just hit them and just go right down the line.
We got to hit the Ark of the Covenant tonight.
Yeah,
we're not skipping it again. We've skipped it for 2 shows. We're getting through the clips tonight.
Yep.
Except for any boring ones or any AI read ones.
Yeah, we'll skip a bunch of AI economic shit.
You're hitting like a 97 out of 100 lately. When we first started, it was like 50-50. Then it was 60-40. Then it was 70. You're killing it, dude.
Thank you. They call me Kim Jong-dong.
Yeah.
Genghis Dong.
Yeah.
Dong Julio. Clip 112 is very short, but I just want to go bang, bang. I want to tell you what's going on. How they fucking
You
us
don't have
up.
to go fast. We got time.
Another heat wave is pushing power grids to the limit. As millions blast their air conditioners, the Energy Department has issued an emergency order to help prevent blackouts in 17 states, including Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. The order directs the Southwest Power Pool to take steps to keep electricity flowing through August 3rd.
I like how the black newscasters just sound like they're black, and the white ones sound like they're doing that news voice. But the black ones are like...
Well, dude, do you remember PJNC, that other power grid that handles a bunch of like the DMV up to New Jersey? It's like a 5-state power grid. It's the biggest one in the country.
Yeah.
That's being pushed to the limit. Now the Sunbelt's power grid is being pushed to the limit. You see
I think we're in an earthquake war.
We're in total war.
I don't think we're the only country that has directed energy weapons that can cause earthquakes. And I think we hit somebody, they hit back. I think San Francisco is going to get hit hard this week.
Have you seen the earthquake map? It's all along the West Coast, bro.
Yeah.
It's like West Coast, even pushing into New Mexico.
Yeah, San Francisco's going to get hit big time.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be disastrous earthquakes. Tehran is going to get hit. Moscow is going to get hit. Kyiv is going to get hit. I really think that at least 60% of those are going to get hit. I mean, when you start seeing earthquakes just happen in capitals or major military locations, come on.
Oh, bro, it's not a coincidence, man.
And I think a lot of these earthquakes that have been happening in the ocean are tests. Keep in mind, when the United States government was doing nuclear tests during the Cold War, it was doing them a lot of times over the ocean.
And on fault lines, too.
And in the middle of nowhere. I think they're doing the earthquake tests in the middle of nowhere. So once they get it down, like how powerful it is, how to do it, then they move it to the target. But you always train. Even when you have it down, you keep doing it.
The Chinese are so damn sneaky. I might even retract my statement. Like, I've been under the assumption one of the main areas of next generation weapons that we're actually ahead, like a whole generation, is directed energy weapons. Because we know how old HAARP is. It's since like the 1980s, you know?
I think it's even older than that.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've seen prop planes, B-52 prop planes, cloud seeding hurricanes in old black and white footage.
Yeah, I'm not talking cloud seeding. I'm talking like ionizing microwaves, moving water.
HAARP?
Yeah, like the whole microwave array.
Yeah. When did Project HAARP start? It's 2 A's, right?
Yes. It's like the insurance for elderly people, except the weather weapon.
I don't get it.
HAARP is like HAARP is like insurance.
Oh.
Yeah, it's what old people get for insurance, bro.
I'm never going to be old.
I just want to die young.
I just hope I live a life worthy of being assassinated.
Stream Civil War. Stream Civil War. And then just die, bro. I'm not going to let Fauci get me. Today, I was a rock star. I can't believe Elon came for me.
Is that what it fucking said?
I'm a hero. Yeah, you didn't do.
You
There's
said
like
he was a hero?
1,100 pages of that shit released.
Project HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, began in 1990. You were right. Started as a congressional initiative with support from Alaska Senator Ted Stevens, jointly managed by the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy to study the ionosphere and its effects on radio communications and navigation. Construction of the research station near Gakona, Alaska began in 93 following the environmental impact studies. First functional prototype facility with an 18-antenna array was completed by late 1994, and initial operations testing started then. It reached intermediate capability in 1999 at full power, 180 antennas, 3.6 megawatts in 2007.
So yeah, we're going to use the tools that are at our disposal. And if you remember what happened to Turkey when they tried to leave NATO, essentially we just flattened their capital. Remember that in like 2011, there was that massive earthquake in Turkey that killed like close to 100,000 people?
Yep.
And then, and the weird
I
thing...
didn't know any of them.
Yeah, you know, I don't really know many.
Didn't really mess with my day. Didn't know that many of them.
Should we go right down the line?
Yes, 2007 had several major earthquakes, including a record 4 of magnitude 8 or greater in a single year.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the super chat. We
year,
will play the JFK clip.
The year that HAARP,
play it.
The year that HAARP was fully operational, 2007, there was a record 4 of magnitude 8 or greater in a single year. Let's see where they were. The Kuril Islands in Russia, the Solomon Islands, central coast of Peru, and Indonesia. Other notable earthquakes included a magnitude 7.7 in Antofagasta, Chile, a magnitude 6.6 in Japan's Niigata region. caused significant local damage and deaths. Overall, earthquakes in 2007 caused roughly 700 to 800 fatalities worldwide. I don't know if it's related or not, but I just wanted to see.
No, totally, bro. I'm with you all the way on that. All hell's breaking loose. This is why I want to go over the recalls happening, because Steve Quayle was the main guy. That's like my number one ninja, dude. He said, for sure, food spoilage, like things get into the food supply.
You skipping the power grids?
No, we did the power grid already.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a very short clip, I told you. I just wanted to put it on the PJNC power grid, how our infrastructure is crumbling, but we have all this war money for daddy war bucks. Can we hit clip 113? And then I'll just do my whole tie-in after.
You might want to double-check the eggs in your refrigerator before making breakfast this morning. Nearly 20 million eggs have been recalled for potential salmonella contamination. The eggs were sold in 6 states under several different brand names from the company Midwest Poultry Services out of Texas. That company is now voluntarily recalling the eggs after nearly 100 people got sick with salmonella over the last several months. The eggs have a sell or best by date between July 20th and August 17th. If you think you have them,
all right,
throw them
this
out.
This could go on for 2 minutes. The eggs have salmonella.
Yeah, of course. Let's hit 115. Now I'm going to make the main point I was going to make. We could skip 114.
All new this morning, more than 12,000 pounds of smoked bacon from Canada has been recalled due to an import violation.
Yeah, the U.S. Agriculture Department says they were distributed to retailers here in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. If you're making breakfast right now, check the packaging. The affected brands are Royale Natural, Applewood Smoked, All Natural Uncured Bacon, along with Top Value Uncured Hardwood Smoked Bacon. They were exclusively sold at grocery outlet stores. These products included in the recall are 12-ounce packages with various sell-by dates.
The bacon's fucked up.
Yep.
Okay.
So we know about Cyclospora with the produce.
Yep.
We know about the salmonella recall with the eggs. We know that there's now a problem.
Then we got the tick viruses going on, too.
Yep. This is what Steve Quayle said, I believe, like 10 years ago, and it's stuck with me in my mind ever since. It's not that some of these food recalls aren't genuine. It's that they intentionally poison the food supply when they want to requisition the food and bring it to the deep underground military bases. So they'll taint the food supply in one little state or region, have this massive recall, and then that gets directed to the deep underground military facilities.
Wait, the underground military facilities take the recalled food?
Yes.
So that it's a black budget kind of laundering thing?
It's a black budget food laundering thing, and they're getting ahead.
So do you think that when we had the record amount of poultry farm fires over between 2020 and 2024, more than like 20 years, but like combined, it was astronomical. Do you think those chickens were going to the deep underground military bases?
I would reckon a lot of it was. And that's not to say foreign actors don't actually poison the food supply. That's not to say that Cyclospora and Salmonella isn't going around, but they use it as the excuse for requisition to get massive amounts of food to the deep underground military bases ahead of remember what Dory was saying?
So it's basically how the government can buy a massive amount of food from the grocery stores. Like,
yeah,
if there's a recall, then I imagine the supplier has to pay the company back, but they're getting paid.
I mean, who knows if they even get paid? They might be under orders to destroy, and then the FDA
I'm
or
just
whatever
saying,
grabs it.
I'm just trying to think of the logistics of how a recall would work from a business standpoint. So if I sell a bunch of eggs to a grocery store and then there's later a recall, I imagine I'd have to refund the money.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's a massive loss for the egg suppliers unless the
government steps in and subsidizes the loss.
Just buys them. Yeah.
But I think that's what's actually going on here. And I've never had a reason to doubt Steve Quayle.
And why the fuck do they announce it in the news? Like, it's not really a news story. Oh, there's a recall on some eggs in 6 states.
Like a public,
public service
alert,
announcement,
PSA.
Type thing. Yeah, but really? I don't know. Stupid.
Dude, Steve Quayle's never been wrong. Started the prepping movement, was the first guy to talk about chemtrails, was the first guy to talk about the transgender revolution that I was aware of. First guy to talk about how robots will be demon-possessed in the future. That dude's bad. He was the first one to talk about Apophis. I was hearing him talk about the asteroid that's supposed to strike the West Coast off of 2028-29, which we're coming up on soon. First guy I ever heard talk about how the whole western half of the United States, if from Washington,
what if
state
they
down
know the asteroid's coming, so they're planning massive earthquakes to proactively evacuate everyone from California?
I don't know, man, but I just know some weird shit's going on, and this is full-on warfare in the environment, in the air, in the water, in your nuts.
Yeah, microplastics swimming in my balls right now.
Mm-hmm. And Should we hit Legionnaire's disease spreading in New York?
It's what all the old people get in hot tubs, right?
No, it's from. They'll explain.
Legionnaire's outbreak
you
on
did
the
get
Upper
hot
East
tubs.
Side leaves a 5th person dead.
It comes as the city believes the outbreak has been contained. Elijah Westbrook joins us here in the studio with the very latest on this. Elijah?
Oh, Chris and Cindy, the city says this Legionnaire's outbreak appears to be slowing down, but this morning there's some tough news amid the latest developments. As mentioned, a 5th person has died. A wrongful death lawsuit is now in the works, and questions are growing about whether the city moved fast enough to contain the outbreak. As of 6:30 a.m., here are the latest numbers from the city's Department of Health. It confirms that there have been at least 82 cases. Crews have tested 183 cooling towers across 160 buildings, and every tower that tested positive has now been cleaned. City Council Speaker Julie Menon says this outbreak shows the city needs to do a better job keeping people informed. In fact, she's recently announced...
All right, Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah. It's a form of pneumonia from, I think if you're in like a damp
Yeah, if you're sitting in a hot tub.
Not just hot tub.
I know,
it's
but you
like
get them in hot
ACs,
tubs
it's
too. A
ventilation.
lot of people get them in hot tubs, community hot tubs, because the steam from the water carries it and you inhale it.
Remember we were talking about the super rats too that were resistant to rat poison?
Yeah.
It's Mom Donnie's New York.
What about super boomers that are resistant to Legionnaires?
That's something the Illuminati would have never guessed. Thank you, Pickle Rick, for the $5 super chat. Oh, it's Kryptonite Rick, my bad. Do y'all not know about Manila Dutch Cincy? He literally forecasts earthquakes. Definitely worth your time. Keep it up, boys. We are here for it. Hey, thank you, Kryptonite Rick.
I think it's Dutch Sensei.
Dutch Sensei. I will tune into his or her research and I'll find out more about the earthquakes. Can we hit clip 117? U.S. measles coming back on the radar?
Sure.
Grim
this is probably propaganda to get people to take the measles vaccine.
I think so too. But we're in an advanced stage of information warfare now.
Confirmed measles cases reported this year alone, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, surpassing figures from all of 2025. Experts say this is the highest number of measles cases on record since 1991.
It's quite tragic.
William Moss of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the record-breaking numbers reflect long-standing under-vaccination rates for measles in a number of communities across the U.S. The outbreak started in Texas in January 2025 and had now been reported in 45 jurisdictions.
You think it's vaccine propaganda?
Yes.
I mean, measles did go down for a long time.
It's not even that
What if
big
it's
of
a
deal.
weaponized form of measles coming out of Bill Gates' asshole?
No, they're just fear mongering some bullshit disease no one's gonna fucking get, so you get the vaccine. That's what that shit is.
And then on top of that, we don't have to play these clips. They're
doing interviews at Johns Hopkins. Don't you think those guys are in bed with Pfizer? Jesus Christ.
Oh, Event 201, 100%, dude. They're in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they lied about all the COVID deaths too. Remember that? How they had a ticker count every single fucking day, bro?
Bullshit.
It's just something to keep an eye on.
Everybody was fine in 1991 when the number of measles cases was higher. I wish it was 1991. I wish people were getting the measles and we didn't have any of the contemporary problems that we had today. We haven't had this numbers this high since 1991. Oh, I remember the dark year of 1991. Everything was so bad. Nirvana came out with their first single and they put a little baby weenie on the record. Come on. 1991 was a shit.
Dude, that's like peak America, bro. It's like 91, 2002.
You mean we're going back to 91? Holy shit. The women will be hot again. Pamela Anderson's on Baywatch and she's still wearing makeup? Fuck yes. 1991 is the shit. Everybody on television was white.
Almost everyone. You had Family Matters. You had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
But that was honest.
You had Bill Cosby.
They weren't black for the sake of black.
Hitting three-pointers with the roofies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leroy Long, for the super chat. My cracker Bach, a real gangster, though. Hey, thank you, brother. I'll see you on a rooftop when this shit falls apart. There is a nationwide recall on thyroid medication and antihistamines, too. I found that to be very suspicious. We don't have to play the clips. What I do think we should play is clip 127.1.
What does thyroid medication have to do with antihistamines?
I mean, I'm not so sure that they're related, but I find it funny that there's
funny
a
happening
recall
at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, how many more different medicines are going to pop up on the list, and where they're going to end up after these recalls?
Are thyroid medications taken nasally?
They could be taken anally. I don't know, bro. I'm not on a thyroid medication. Maybe I need it because
I once took. I used to use the Mucinex nasal spray when I lived in Austin because I had some allergies, and I figured out that whenever I had a headache, it wasn't actually a headache; it was a sinus thing. Even if I could breathe through my nose, like it was just in my face, I guess. And so I would use Mucinex, and within like an hour, like way better than a Tylenol, headache gone, right? And I used too much of it, like maybe twice a day for like 3-4 days. And my nose relentlessly bled from the nasal spray. But I've always been wary of Mucinex since then. Like, what the fuck? How did it cause that level of...
Well, now that you say that, another angle of this, too, is if you wanted to kill a population that depended on these medicines, you would start taking them off the shelf for whatever health condition they helped you manage or suppress.
My nose hurt so bad that I would fill up the bathtub and I would put my face in the water, the warm water, and I would blow my nose as hard as I could. And when I came up, it looked like the fucking Red Sea.
Like, could you imagine if they pulled your hemophiliac medicine, bro?
Oh, I'd be fucked.
You'd be fucked, man.
Totally fucked.
They'd just kill the network by killing you.
That's why I stockpile it.
Oh, that's a pretty good point. Do you think that this is a natural occurring earthquake, Clip 120, or do you think that this is maybe China or Russia getting active with their directed energy weapons?
These looks are coming out of Japan right now. And you can see that it looks like a building is on fire here. I want to make sure that I have the right context for this because earlier
Explain to me how Japan fits into the China-Taiwan relationship.
Japan would be the #1 backer of their defense. They're geographically close.
Taiwan's defense?
Taiwan's defense. They host a bunch of U.S. naval bases and military bases, especially Okinawa.
It's China.
They're part of the first and second chain of islands that would contain the Chinese naval presence to the South China Sea in the what was it, the 92- line or something like that,
But Japan is notorious for having earthquakes all the time.
Yeah. I mean, this could very well be an act of God or Godzilla. You know, I'm not doubting that, but I just find it. What did Jesus say? Didn't Jesus say that when his return was near, that there'd be earthquakes in diverse places? And that there'd be all sorts of volcanoes going off, and there'd be disease and rumors of disease and war and rumors of war. I might be butchering the Bible verse, but
we'll get it. We'll get the word of God correct on this transmission. Jesus spoke about earthquakes and other natural disasters as signs preceding his return in the Olivet Discourse recorded in Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21. Again, all the good shit is in Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Is that Schofield Bible shit?
I don't think that the book of John is canon. It just doesn't match the other three gospels.
You're not the only one that thinks that. They're saying he portrayed a fake Jesus too.
It's fucking weird. And I'm not like a bigot. Like I believe in Jesus. You know, when I read John, it does not line up with the other three gospels. And it was the latest one, too. All right, he said in Matthew 24, 6-8, "You'll hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Don't be afraid, Bak. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains." Parallel in Mark, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains." Luke 21, great earthquakes, famines, pestilence in various places, and fearful events, and great signs from heaven. Additional related teaching, Luke 21, "There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken." He presented these events, wars, earthquakes, famines, pestilence, and cosmic signs, as the beginning of birth pains, indicators that the end is approaching, but not the end itself. He repeatedly urged his followers not to be alarmed or deceived, but to remain watchful and faithful. So we're just supposed to be like, yeah.
Isn't it funny that Jesus used the word birth pains? Because the way these cycles work, it's like contractions.
Yes, that's interesting, but also keep in mind Eve's punishment for eating from the tree of knowledge.
That dumb bitch. She fucked all of us.
You remember her
what,
punishment?
That childbirth will be painful?
Yeah. So I think Jesus is actually, these are the beginnings of birth pains. It's like the final payment for for sin before it's vanquished.
Yeah, but I got the vibe of the Bible verse, right? Do you think that that's the times that we live in right now?
I mean, there have always been wars, and there have
Yeah,
always
but
been
like
earthquakes.
this, have the contractions been this intense and close?
Yeah, we had the fucking bubonic plague. We had the Dark Ages, which was like 100 years of cold weather and no fucking food growing, massive famines, and sickness as a result of that because of the malnourishment and just the general meekish cold that was going on. We had the collapse of Rome. We had the collapse of Germany. We had World War I. We had World War II. We had massive slave trade. We had the eradication of Native Americans on an entire continent. We had the fall of Maya, which was a massive empire in Central South America. Dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
We're very small fish on a very big wave.
I think we're entering a period of history that humanity's never seen.
Well, I mean, every generation enters a period of history that humanity's never
All
seen.
this shit started since 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
There's
You can't even deny that, bro.
What happened in that one again? Is that the shit in the cup? Is that the shit in the cup?
Yeah. They said it was fake. I looked back at it.
Is there a cake?
Yeah,
involved?
there's Man, I'm getting PTSD.
Should we
talking
play
about
it?
2 Girls, 1. No, don't play that. Please.
I remember
don't play
what was
that.
the blue waffle? Do you remember that?
No, was that the waffle with the jizz in it?
No, it was a famous picture of some pussy that had some terrible sexually transmitted disease.
Oh no, come on, dude.
It looked like a funnel cake with blue dye all over it.
We said we weren't. Look like blue cheese,
dude.
Look like.
Imagine if your ramen was blue.
Do we hit that the fact that Lake Powell and Lake Mead, the 2 biggest reservoirs in the United States?
Imagine if Owen Schroyer dyed his hair purple.
I like Owen.
I like him too.
Yeah, it's good. That glow up, glow down.
He knows
glow
I'm
up.
just teasing.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was looking good in his last stream. He's starting to look more like Brad Pitt from Troy.
Oh, 100%.
That's what he's going for. Now it makes sense.
Now it's Elliot Page. Right? Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man, we're in the fucking end times, bro. This shit ain't normal. Elliot Page is playing Achilles.
That's not real.
That's what I'm saying. It's all fake and gay, bro. We've never seen a time like this in our life. Do you think the men of any past generation would have accepted Elliot Page playing Achilles? Or
she's not really playing Achilles. That's an AI swap.
It doesn't matter. That thing would have never been in this position.
It was made to make fun of her.
Helen of Troy's black now, bro. Are you fucking telling me Jesus' return isn't near?
You mean that the Trojans kidnapped a black woman, made her ride on a boat?
I'm saying the only thing real about that movie, which is supposed to be a historical record of the Odyssey, is the cryptids.
The Iliad.
Whatever. Same fucking thing, man.
I had to read it in college. It's not that good. It's like Dragon Ball Z.
Whoa, don't bring Dragon Ball Z into this shit, bro.
I love Dragon Ball Z.
All right, cool. Me too.
But it's not very sophisticated.
No, it's not meant to be sophisticated. It's meant to get you little
Iliad,
nuts that just dropped into.
But the Iliad was meant to be sophisticated.
Yeah, I could see that.
He was like Stevie Wonder. He was out there pretending to be blind, rhyming and shit. Right?
Do you think that the creatures in it were real? Like the Cyclops?
He wrote the whole fucking thing in iambic pentameter.
What is that?
Every line has 10 syllables.
You fucking nerd.
And it rhymes.
I'm asking you, do you think the Cyclops was real? The sirens were real? The harpies were real in it? The mer women were real?
Well, it depends on what you mean by real. In the wise words of Jordan Peterson.
They were writing about shit they really saw.
I doubt it.
You just wait, man. You just wait till the Super Soldier program comes online and
all
it's
I know
open for
is
everyone to see.
if I was a sailor and I'd been gone for 6 months and I come back to see my little boy and my wife,
you're gonna embellish a
I'm
story
gonna
to tell
make
them.
shit up. I saw the most giant beast I've ever laid eyes on, twice as tall as the tallest building you've ever seen.
So you don't think giants are real?
I don't know.
Well, if giants are real,
I think it's
then you would know the offspring of the fallen angels are real.
What I'm saying is I think it's reasonable to believe that they're not real in the sense that they're depicted.
Dude, you spent all this time with me and you're really on this bullshit.
Fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. He's up on top of a beanstalk. No, like what? Maybe people used to be 8 feet tall because they had some Nephilim shit going on.
8 feet tall? That's what you think?
How big are the giants? I don't know. I don't know anything about this shit.
What about the Colossus of Rhodes? That motherfucker was like 40 feet tall.
What? I don't even know who that is.
They had a statue, the Colossus of Rhodes, and it was in honor of a giant that lived in that area.
They got a statue 40 feet tall of Kim
What about
Jong-un.
the Native American myths about giants?
Dude, all of the Native Americans were famous for doing ayahuasca and peyote.
What about the Cyclopean giants off of in the island of Sicily?
Dude, fucking Dan Crenshaw is very real.
We're gonna have to.
He's
talk
a little.
after
His
this
views
stream.
are too myopic.
I'm gonna have to talk to you after this.
Let's
stream,
do it on
bro.
the stream.
I'm very disappointed in you right now. I'm gonna
Somebody
show
get
you.
$500 if they think Bach's right.
Yeah, I do.
Nobody
They know
will do
I'm
it.
right. It's
Nobody will
called
do it.
Fucking history, bro. Are we gonna cover Lake Powell and Lake Mead going dry?
No. Why? Here's this thing you do that drives me nuts, Bach. You say the most fascinating fucking shit, and then when I start getting into it with you, you want to move on.
Well,
like we were just about ready.
Yeah. You showed me how much of a non-believer, not well-read in historical fact of cryptids.
I
you
read
were.
the Iliad.
That's fucking Helen's. Pull this shit up. I love Candace.
This will blow your fucking mind.
She's catching a lot of shit right now, but I got you, girl.
For what?
The whole Charlie Kirk thing. She's starting to get a little torn apart on things she got wrong.
What'd she get wrong?
That like they go really deep in on.
Do you know off
Fort
the top of your head?
Huachuca.
Like, don't be scared to say it.
No, I didn't fully go into it. I just, was sitting there listening, trying to defend my girl, and then I was like, I can't defend you over Fort Huachuca.
What'd she get wrong?
Like the whole Egyptian airplane bullshit.
That was way early though. That was an early theory.
Yeah, but they said that she implicated a lot of connections between assassins flying in and out of there, the planning of Charlie's death at Fort Huachuca, Erica being tied to Fort Huachuca. And I don't know. I'm just hoping that she beats the lawsuit, dude, because I love that woman. That's a strong black woman.
What lawsuits is she actually in? Everybody talks about the lawsuits.
They're opening up a defamation lawsuit against her. It seems like imminent.
But you can say that, but what are you talking about? What do you mean it seems imminent?
It seems like TPUSA is getting ready with Erica Kirk to open up a defamation lawsuit.
Do you think that
against her.
Colvin is intentionally baiting her on Twitter to say things that they can use in the case to add stacks?
I mean, that would be a really interesting angle. I personally haven't thought that. No, I just think they're a bunch of dumb motherfuckers.
Like provoking her on purpose, and getting her to fucking say more defamatory shit.
She's releasing some.
That is, I believe, Brian Horpel, the former head of security for Charlie Kirk. He's coming after her. There's no other major pending lawsuits against Owens that were prominently
reported. No, I gave you the rumor that TPUSA is gearing up for their own defamation lawsuit.
Dude, but public figures cannot sue for defamation for shit.
I think you're kind of wrong about that, man. There's a whole case law with defamation by implication.
Dude, do you know the difference between the requirement? We've gone over this on this show before. The burden of proof, if you're a public figure, is way higher than a standard defamation case.
Unless you have some leftist faggot judge, dude, that sets a new precedent based off of weak evidence. You don't think courts can be corrupted, man? Like, where is the defamation lawsuits even being taken? Because that really matters too. What state?
I don't know. Would it be in Nashville since she's here?
I have no idea, man. Would it be in Utah?
Oh, she's fucked if it's in Utah. The Mormon Mafia.
It's like, it's pretty big, Where? Thank you, Leroy, for the super chat. I still think I can fix Candace.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, we're not giving up on Candace, bro.
Yeah. I support everything that she's doing because I hate TPUSA.
All right,
I fucking hate TPUSA, Bach.
Yeah, I know how much you hate TPUSA.
I loathe it. It's the Scientology of political groups.
Let's get into the interesting clips. So we'll just round out the show with those, and then we'll go into the spaces.
All right.
This is very interesting. Not many people have been talking about this. Can we play clip 131?
Only if you promise to get into the fucking Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, it goes 131. It goes to that meteorite they found. Bigfoot's body. Newsmax covered it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're getting some shit.
Okay, robot scans books, feeding AI knowledge page by page. I've seen this footage before.
Yeah, but it's not this technology, which is horrifying in itself. So Anthropic can train its models on anything, but you can't train your models off of what Anthropic stole in the real world. They burn and destroy these books after.
So they scan the books and they destroy them.
Yes, they memory hole them.
They don't want anybody else to see them?
There's not even a good reason why they do it. That's why I'm saying, like, holy shit, 1984 is real, bro. They scan all these rare books, they scan all these manuscripts, and then they fucking destroy them after. They got caught destroying them. It's like, why would you do that, dude?
Well, it's expensive to store them.
You think it's just like a cost thing? I think it's like Fahrenheit
Dude, they're
411.
No, they're thinking cost per square foot of shelving and storage for them.
No way, dude. Because you can memory, if the original manuscript and the original book doesn't exist and you just have an AI derivative.
No, they can absolutely memory hole it. But I mean, if you're gonna purchase every fucking book imaginable just for the purpose of training an AI, you're not gonna want to deal with figuring out where to put the books.
So just destroy it.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense, right?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me, dude.
Well,
that's modern day book
What company
burning.
was that?
I don't know the exact company. I was just showing you the technology. But Anthropic, they all got caught doing this shit, dude. They're all training their models, having access to information that they shouldn't, and then they just sue your ass when you go to train your model, or you go to make a report based off the knowledge. Oh, that's proprietary.
Why do you think Candace is going so hard after Erica?
I think Charlie was her friend. I think she's taking this very personally. I think that she views TPUSA as some behemoth, a monolith that was probably involved some way, shape, or form with his murder, and that she's out for blood, bro. And I'm with it.
All right. Yes, it's true. At least for some major AI companies, most prominently Anthropic, makers of Claude. Court documents unsealed in a copyright lawsuit revealed that Anthropic ran a large-scale internal effort called Project Panama, starting in early 2024. Internal planning documents described it as an effort to destructively scan all the books in the world, and they explicitly wanted to keep it quiet. This is great, dude. What they did, Anthropic spent tens of millions of dollars buying millions of physical, mostly used books from sellers like Better World Books and World of Books. Workers used hydraulic cutting machines, just like we looked at, to slice off the spines, fed the loose pages into high-speed industrial scanners, ran OCR to turn the images into text, and then discarded or recycled the paper originals. Vendor proposals discussed processing 500,000 to 2 million books over roughly 6 months. This is a different from Google Books, which mostly used non-destructive scanning of library books that were returned. Destructive scanning is faster and cheaper at industrial scale. Why they did it? High-quality training data, obviously. Legal positioning under fair use, yep. Speed and cost. Cutting spines and running pages through high-volume scanners is much faster and cheaper than careful, non-destructive methods. They tried to keep it a secret because obviously they didn't want us talking about how they're book burners. So yeah, it's just cheaper to rip.
And they'll be the only ones with
the scanning process. The scanning process destroys the book.
I don't think it's just a cost-benefit analysis, bro.
These aren't solo copies of the books, though. They bought like 2 million books from used bookstores. There were multiple books, multiple copies of the same books. They just scanned them and destroyed them. It was shit like the Odyssey and stuff. You can still get a copy. But the fact that they called it Project Panama, and then the fact that they tried to keep it secret, it's fucking wild.
Those are book burners. Those are book burners.
You know what's really crazy? You know what's really crazy? They probably burned all the same books that the Nazis burned.
Oh, like that transgender book by Max
all
Herzl?
Of them. They want them all for the data, right? So they're burning the exact same books plus some.
It would give you a monopoly on information too, or at least like they would have a firmer hold on the information, even if they couldn't get every last copy of what they scanned. And then comes the memory holing.
But okay, all right,
right?
I had a question, but I just answered it.
Should we hit clip 132? This is fascinating stuff, folks.
Yes.
Imagine just chilling at home, then hearing a big bang from your bedroom, and then you go in there and you find one of the most consequential scientific pieces of rock that have ever fallen from the heavens and made a mess inside of your house. That's what happened about 2 years ago at a New Jersey home. As you can see in that video there, that's not a UAP, that is a meteorite. And luckily for science, the homeowners immediately and carefully preserved some of the meteorite's fragments. Now, fast forward to now,
look at that fractal pattern.
The SETI Institute published their findings on the meteorite, saying that it holds prebiotic molecules and other building blocks of life, and they are calling it alien world chemistry. Let's bring in the lead author of that study, Dr. Peter.
Holy shit, he smiles with his bottom
teeth. Yeah, he freaks me out. Don't go in his basement or his van.
Okay, so do we know where, and more importantly, do we know when this meteorite might have come from?
So they're saying they could potentially trace the origins of life, or what leads to the origins of life, because prebiotic molecules and amino acids surviving the vacuum of space and then hitting a planet,
No,
staying
they
intact?
didn't say they survived. They just found them.
Well, I'm assuming here. But if a meteor, like, is that how life started?
They found them in the fuck. Yeah, there's a lot of scientists that believe that life was started with meteor strikes.
Because think about, like, how did the Earth have so much water? I always just thought it was a bombardment of comets hitting the Earth.
I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know how the Earth got water.
Is water like abiotic oil production then? It's
I imagine it had
forms
something
from the
to
core
do
of the
when
Earth?
when the star was formed. I imagine certain elements and chemicals were dispersed across the solar system, and some of them accumulated in different ways, resulting in the different planets. And Earth's happened to be the building block ingredients for H2O somehow, I imagine, loosely. But I think the moon's fake.
You think the moon's fake?
Yeah, I think it's artificial.
Well, there's Native American legends about how the moon wasn't there before.
Yeah, it's fake.
And it's crazy that it has the exact same silhouette to block out the sun.
Dude, when the moon went out for a pack of cigarettes, Noah had to build an ark.
Oh, should we get into the Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah, different ark, but yes.
Clip 134.
Do you want to play Bigfoot's Body Found?
I do. It's pretty. This dude's been going viral. Snake the
Well,
Bigfoot
you've
Hunter.
probably seen it. In fact, I almost guarantee that you've seen this. The famous Patterson video that allegedly shows a real Bigfoot, a Sasquatch from 1967. The video was a fake, but it doesn't change the fact that there have been thousands of sightings all over the world over the last several decades, and many ancient cultures have legends
Michelle
about some
Obama
variation
on that
of a
rock.
giant
That's wild.
half man, half ape. But our next guest might have made one of the most important discoveries in human history. He says he found the remains of an 8-foot, 300-pound Sasquatch in upstate New York in the Adirondack Mountains in 2024. Charles Stewart, also known as Snake the Bigfoot Hunter, also the author of the Bigfoot Bible, is with us. Charles, good to have you. So take us back to 2024. You're in the woods.
I was playing Red Dead Redemption in the woods.
I was playing Fortnite.
Well, I found a body, Rob, and this thing was smelling so bad. It was 8 feet long,
Dude, Destiny told us that he smelled fucking terrible.
Yeah. An ivy patch in a marshy area, and it had been dead about 2 days.
I mean, that's
when
common for
found
people
the
who've run
body.
into
So
the
What's
squad.
that?
condition wasn't too bad at that point. So
That's
I was
the body
able
that
to
he says
get
he
the
found?
Yeah,
body
he has it in.
extracted
He's
with some
preserved
friends'
it
help.
with
Has he got DNA and shit?
He's saying he has everything. He's saying he has all the receipts. And that's a guy you could easily discredit.
It's fucking Mitch McConnell, dude. He's decomposing.
Dude, there's obviously fucking Bigfoot's real. Obviously cryptids are real. I have to, time and time again.
What's the difference between Bigfoot and a cryptid?
Well, a cryptid is any obscure, like it could be a chupacabra, it could be
Any
Mothman.
kind of like mythical.
Yeah,
potentially real
reptilian. It
creature.
could be a praying mantis thing. There's multiple types of big feet. There's one that like eats like, it's like, I'm sure it's an omnivore, but it eats like.
Bach, we have to go to members only.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks.
Hey, you want to give the announcement for
I'll
the
give
website?
the announcement. So we're doing something new. We are doing the show for the public from 8 to 10 p.m. And from 7 to 8 before the show, we're just going to be hanging out, doing our behind-the-scenes show prep and streaming for members on chasegeyser.com. Now, you don't have to pay to join. You can just give your email address, set up an account, and access all the same stuff. We obviously have different subscription tiers just for people who want to support us and keep us on the air. Appreciate all of you out there who have signed up. Please encourage others to do so. Please stay signed up. But if you still want access to the content, we do not paywall our content, certainly not as of yet. And you can join early on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central. Hang out with us a little bit before the show starts. We launch on YouTube at 8 for everyone to see. And then at 10, we're going to keep the space open on X. But for those of you watching, it will be members only, both on our YouTube channel as well as on chasegeyser.com. So
go to chasegeyser.com if you want to see the stream. If you're in Spaces, just sit tight because we're opening it up for our guest speakers.
Yep, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'll play like a short promo. What does that sound like?
And to our new viewers, thank you for tuning in. I hope you found value in the content, talking about cryptids and birth pains of Jesus' return and the damn Chinese.
All right, I'm going to play this short video. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to do some more together for members only of the YouTube channel. Just stay tuned on the same stream. Or and you can sign up as a member of the YouTube channel too, and you'll have access to the last part of the show. Or you can just sign up for free at chasegeyser.com and watch it in there. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor and pleasure of working with the great Alex Jones for a number of years at InfoWars.
Do you hear what
I'm telling you! Do you hear me? Burning too good for you. Killing's too good for you.
As you know, InfoWars was shut down just a number of weeks ago, and in response to that shutdown, I decided to launch my own network to stay in the fight. I launched Chase Geiser Network at chasegeiser.com for the purpose of staying in the information war, because despite whatever they may do to InfoWars, the information war has just begun. In fact, it's escalating to a point beyond any point we've seen throughout our entire history as human beings walking on the face of this planet. With artificial intelligence ramping up, deep state data centers being built all over our nation, as well as this conflict with China in the AI arms race that's taking place right now, things are about ready to get really, really sketchy in terms of psychological operations, propaganda efforts, Mockingbird-esque efforts only powered by artificial intelligence, so that we see corruption in a way that we've never seen before. I'm calling upon all of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@ChaseGeiserNetwork. You can also get a link to it in my bio on X at @RealChaseGeiser. But most importantly, if you could, find it in your heart to go to ChaseGeiser.com. That's ChaseGeiser.com. And sign up as a foundational member. Cancel anytime. We're going to be streaming several times